Imagine this. South Africa's political establishment is in turmoil, and today we unpack one of its most explosive chapters, the MK Party standoff with President Cyril Ramaphosa over his handling of the police minister saga. At the center, Senzo Mchunu suspended, Firas Kekeli appointed, and now a legal ultimatum from Jacob Zuma. We'll explore how it all unfolded, why it matters, and where it could lead next. To understand today's crisis, we need historical context. The Umkhonto Party, founded in December 2023 by former President Jacob Zuma, emerged from a break with the ANC and tapped into deep frustration with Ramaphosa-era governance. In the 2024 general election and subsequent by-elections, MKP showed surprising strength in KwaZulu-Natal and beyond, positioning itself as the third-largest party and a symbol of resistance to perceived ANC elitism. Senzo Mchunu was appointed Minister of Police in mid-2024 by Ramaphosa, a seasoned political heavyweight with a reputation for integrity. But in July 2025, allegations emerged from KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi claiming that Mchunu had colluded with criminal syndicates and interfered in politically sensitive investigations. He cited WhatsApp messages and disbanding of task teams investigating political killings as evidence. Mchunu denied everything, insisting he upheld the rule of law. Responding to growing public outrage and pressure from opposition parties, Ramaphosa placed Mchunu on immediate leave and appointed law professor Firas Kekeli as acting police minister. At the same time, he established a judicial commission of inquiry headed by Justice Madlenga to investigate the allegations and deep ties between state institutions and criminal networks. The critics, including the MK Party and the Democratic Alliance, argued that Ramaphosa's response lacked decisiveness. They contended that suspending rather than dismissing Mchunu, while appointing Kekeli, effectively resulted in two ministers in one portfolio, both serving in an acting capacity, and violated constitutional norms. Fast forward to August 4, 2025, Zuma's MK Party sent a legal letter to Ramaphosa demanding his resignation by 10 a.m. on August 8, or face immediate court action. The letter accused Ramaphosa of violating his oath of office, appointing two ministers, and acting irrationally and unconstitutionally. Zuma and his lawyers posed a series of pointed questions. When exactly was Mchunu placed on leave? When was Kekeli appointed, communicated to the public? What exactly is a minister designate? And what is the cost to taxpayers of paying for both? If Ramaphosa fails to respond, the MKP reserves the right to take legal action in high court or other forums. What does this ultimatum mean? First, it's a high-stakes challenge to Ramaphosa from Zuma, who positions himself as a concerned citizen, voter, and former president. Second, it turns a personnel crisis into a constitutional crisis. Is it legal, rational, or lawful to have two acting ministers in one ministry? And third, it ramps up pressure on Ramaphosa to clarify the timeline and transparency of his decisions. On the other side, Ramaphosa's team has quietly acknowledged the letter and said legal counsel will respond. They may argue that the decisions made were fully within presidential prerogative, especially since direct access to the Constitutional Court was denied earlier, leaving MKP to seek relief via High Court. They could also view resignation demand as rhetorical pressure rather than legal imperative. Now, let's weigh different perspectives. From MKP's standpoint, South Africans deserve clarity and accountability. They view the dual acting appointment as wasteful, unconstitutional, and symptomatic of political interference in law enforcement. They see the Commission of Inquiry and judicial oversight as insufficient without removal of the minister. From Ramaphosa's camp, the Commission ensures procedural legitimacy. A temporary leave balances fairness with public interest, and appointment of a respected legal scholar like Kekeli ensures continuity in policing leadership. Legal experts are divided. Some argue that while a president may appoint acting ministers during investigations, maintaining two concurrently risks violating Section 91 of the Constitution on executive power structure. Others suggest that since Constitutional Court refused direct access, MKP must now pursue alternative legal channels, and the questions posed by Zuma may force a formal disclosure that could shape future precedent. What are the stakes for South Africa? Political credibility and investor confidence are at play. South Africa's rampant crime has long cost its GDP and shaken investor nerves. Ramaphosa's anti-corruption credentials are now under scrutiny. Mishandling this could weaken faith in institutions. For MKP and Zuma, this is a defining moment. Can their bold moves translate into growing political capital or be dismissed as theatrics? Looking ahead, multiple scenarios emerge. If Ramaphosa responds satisfactorily, providing clear dates, constitutional reasoning, and perhaps reversing dual appointments, the crisis could defuse. Alternatively, MKP could proceed to High Court, setting in motion legal proceedings that put presidential decision-making under judicial review. If Ramaphosa refuses or ignores the ultimatum, they might also activate public protests or pursue parliamentary no-confidence motions. At worst, escalation could fracture relations within the ANC-led government of national unity, potentially triggering political realignment ahead of upcoming municipal elections in 2026, where MKP hopes to build on its growing base. What does a resolution look like? Ideally, full transparency. Ramaphosa clarifies timelines and legal basis, cabinet is normalized, commission proceeds independently, and MKP's legal action is forestalled. Worst case, we enter legal limbo, political polarization deepens, and institutions get caught in constitutional gridlock. As this saga unfolds, one thing is clear. It's a real-time test of South Africa's constitutional resilience. It pits legal procedure against political symbolism, and the outcome could define expectations of accountability from the presidency going forward. Thanks for listening. We'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you make of the MK Party's ultimatum? Is Ramaphosa's handling constitutionally sound or politically flawed? Share your views in the comments. If you found this breakdown helpful, please hit subscribe and ring the notification bell so you don't miss future updates on South Africa's evolving political story.